We learned a lot about High Cal in the Gotham.
And here's High Cal making a late run on the extreme outside. They come for the finish. It is High Cal to win the Gotham.
He's not afraid to take the fight to the competition. But in the deep waters of the Wood Memorial, he'll be taken on by a rival who's already proven on the Derby Trail.
Tacitus strikes to the lead. Tacitus to win the Tampa Bay Derby.
100 Kentucky Derby points will go to the winner. The Grade 2 Wood Memorial, Saturday at Aqueduct.
Oh, we're getting serious. 29 days away from the Kentucky Derby. This is your Kentucky Derby Regional Report. Three big-time races to discuss. We're going to begin, as you heard in the tease, with the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct. We're expecting some rain later on today in New York. I don't think that will be a factor in terms of the track conditions for the $750,000 Grade 2 event. Field of 11. As you can see, what a delicious betting race here. Wild card, Hoffa's Union. He's raced once. It was a maiden race at Laurel. He won by 7. He was 7-1 in a 6-horse field. Privately purchased Gary Barber, now Mark Cassidy, the trainer, 95 buyer in his debut. We just don't know how good this horse is. 6-1 in the Wood Memorial. Your morning line favorites, you can see, italicized lettering, or italicized with the numbers, I should say. That's Tacitus, the 2-horse, at 5-2. He's pretty well bred. Father Tappet, mother, the great close hatches, and this is the Tampa Bay Derby. He was nearly 9-1 in this race. He won like a good thing by a length and a quarter, third start of his career, first start as a 3-year-old. There he is, forging to the front. I will say this, he was the beneficiary of a hot pace. They went 22-3, 45-40. He was far off of it. I really think that Outshine, who was second in that race, who's also part of the Wood Memorial field, there's Outshine, 6-1. I like Outshine in this race. I thought it was a terrific second, being part of that pace and sticking around to run second. Now he makes his third start off an 8-month layoff. Should get a really good trip, fitter racehorse, better racehorse, bullet workout coming in. I like Outshine for Todd Pletcher, and why not? Vino Rosso, Outwork for Mr. Rapoli, Verrazano, Gemologist for Windstar, and the horse that was going to be your Derby favorite, right, in 2010, Escandarea. He was a freak, injured, and obviously, the rest with Escandarea, didn't see him, but he was fantastic 9 years ago. That's amazing. High Cal. Yep, somebody here at the network liked him a lot. In the Gotham, I wonder who that was. The reason I liked him in the Gotham was because of the Wingfield win. I can't believe he won that race. He was down on the rail. Somehow he got through late to win by a neck. This might have been more amazing. High Cal, he has no chance of winning this race. The other angle in the Gotham was there was speed everywhere, one-turn mile. This is the race in which Instagram has returned to the races. I thought he was vulnerable off the layoff with all the other speed in this race. How does High Cal win this race? He's fourth right now. He's going to run fourth. He's not going to run first, second, or third. Okay, here he comes. He's going to be a closer fourth. He's going to run third. He's going to say, oh my goodness gracious, he's going to win the race. This horse just has that proverbial nose for the wire. He broke his maiden by neck, and then 2 races in which he looks like he had no chance of winning, the Wingfield and the Gotham. He won them both, February 9th and March 9th. Zeros that won the Gotham and the Wood since 1990. I Want Revenge. He was super, wasn't he? Devil is Due. We're going way back. These are some big names, too. 36 Red, Ergen, Talkin' Man. So High Cal seeks to remain unbeaten in the Wood Memorial, although he did lose his debut. He was second beaten neck, November 10th. Tax, 4.5-1 on the line. You know, he didn't break real well. It was a tale of 2 trips for Tax. The beginning of the race, no good. Didn't break particularly well, but then it turned into a really good trip. This was a really good ride from Junior Alvarado. And there he is down on the inside. Got a little lucky there, didn't he, that things opened up? I mean, things opened up beautifully. He could have been another tight spot. But fortunately, he was able to get through down on the inside. Not That Brady, really, really game in defeat. And Not That Brady, it's good to see Not That Brady back because, I mean, he basically was just eased across the wire in the Gotham March 9th. I don't even know why they have a margin of defeat. 74 and 3 lengths. That's a DNF, isn't it? He didn't finish that race. When you're beating 75 lengths, you didn't finish. or you weren't trying most of the race, right? What a good race. But I'm going to go with a 6-1 shot. I'm going to go with another win for Pletcher, outshine Velasquez off a good second Tampa Bay Derby. Money back on the Preps, the Wood, the Bluegrass, and the Santa Anita Derby. First win bet up to $10. Eligible details, tbg.com/promos. I poured my heart and soul, didn't I? Seriously, right? Into the Wood Memorial. I'm done for this segment. We're going to take a little commercial break. On the other side of this commercial timeout, the Kentucky Derby Regional Report continues from Keeneland with Christina Blacker and Caleb Keller. They'll talk Bluegrass, obviously, and the Santa Anita Derby. Christina, Caleb, hi.
Got you here, Matt?
Gotcha. Hello.
That's a tough act to
Solid
follow,
start
that first
for us.
segment. That's a tough act. Yeah, seriously.
Yes, please.
How are you guys doing?
Thank you. Good.
Doing well. Nice
How are
pick
you?
on high call there in the stakes.
Kind of a quick turnaround for you guys, right? After the late, and you guys were on 4 hours for the first race.
Yeah, I know.
Something like that.
Okay. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hear you, Dawn. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, hello.
Some Like It Hot Brown is heating up at the right time.
In Some Like It Hot Brown, the Battaglia winner is going to take the Jeff Ruby Stakes in front-running style.
If he runs well, he'll be one of the lucky few in the Kentucky Derby starting gate. But Vekoma is also eager to compete in the Run for the Roses.
Vekoma is a colt with serious promise as he scores in the Nashua.
And Win 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 certainly has the talent to find the winner's circle in Keeneland's premier Derby prep.
Win, win, win in front and going away very sharp in the Pasco. Will be about 7 or 8 lengths to the good.
This is the Grade 2 Toyota Bluegrass. Saturday at Keeneland.
Good afternoon. Welcome to day 2 here at Keeneland of the 2019 Spring Meet. Christina Blacker, Caleb Keller with you, and only fitting that the Kentucky Derby Regional Report comes to Kentucky, where we want to talk about the Toyota Bluegrass coming up tomorrow. It is going to be the feature on the program Grade 2 event. 1 1/8 miles is the distance, and really the centerpiece of this meet, Caleb.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're in for a huge purse here. We're talking about $1 million, 2 commas for this event. And with Vekoma towards the inside, you know, George Weaver basically said that at the post draw that he was looking to get out of Florida. He thought that this would be a more manageable race, and it looks like that compared to the Florida Derby where Vekoma was based. And this horse is rightfully the morning line favorite.
I have a hard time getting a real line on Vekoma myself because there was such a hot pace in the Fountain of Youth and he came from off of it. And then you look at the horses that ran in front of him, Code of Honor and Bourbon War, there was such a lack of pace in the Florida Derby that you can't really draw a line on them and if they flattered him or not in that subsequent start. So for me, Vekoma is actually a 9 to 5 morning line choice that I think could be vulnerable tomorrow.
You know, he doesn't have the most attractive stride. A lot of the Candy rides, they get that front right spinner. Twirling Candy had it. Game Winner's kind of got it a little bit, so that's pronounced in the bloodline. This race, I do think that he needed off of the shelf. The thing I like about Vekoma the most, though, is the fact that he usually breaks on top and then pulls himself back to sit into a rating position. So for Javier Castellano, I think they're going to have an inside position. They're going to save the ground. I don't see him on the lead, and I see him sitting about 4th early on. He's sharp to break, but he likes to pull himself back to sit behind a few rivals.
Long overdue. Javier Castellano, not many races that he has not won just yet, but this is one of them as he seeks his first victory in the Toyota Bluegrass. Again, Vekoma 9-5 as the morning line choice. Some of the horses that we've been following kind of throughout the prep season are on this list as well, and one of them is Win Win Win. 7-2 on the morning line. He was so flashy in the Pasco, fast at 7 furlongs, and I thought all things considered his first effort around 2 turns was a credible one.
Any horse that can go 120-4 deserves a lot of credit here in a Grade 1. What you don't see in the comment line for this race, he stumbled at the start. So this is a horse that wants to be up and, within striking range to breathe down the neck of the front runners, and he had to come from off the pace. It was a pretty valiant third. I mean, do I think this is the strongest race? Probably not. But still, to get up for third with a wide trip and a bad start, first time going 2 turns, I think that he overcame a lot. And one thing that I realized in watching the post-draw, Christina, a lot of these connections, they want to move forward. Win, win, win. They want to break better. Dreammaker, their excuse, they got too far back. You look at a horse towards the outside here in Lucky Lee. He's best when running close to the lead. So I felt like I heard 4 or 5 connections at the post draw saying we want to move forward. So if this doesn't look like a hot pace on the page, the connections are going to make it a hot pace. Indeed.
Speaking of some of those connections, we had a chance to catch up with several of them earlier in the week. We'll start here with Dale Romans talking about Admire, the 7-horse, 15-1 on the morning line.
Why has Admire not been able to come on here at the age of 3, in your opinion?
Well, I'll tell you, he's a 17-hand horse, and he's never mentally and physically put it all together yet. The Tampa race, to me, wasn't a bad race. He gets beat 4 lengths, but I'll tell you what, he's trained different after that. It's like he knows why he's here, and I think it just took him a little while to get it all together.
What do you think about this mid-post that you have, post 7?
Perfect post. I mean, they can't blame the post. The speed down on the inside, it looks like, first glance, but let them roll and let us fall in there behind them into the first turn and try to make a big run.
A lot of long shots in there with a big chance. I want to ask you about Market King, about the 4, because I'm a huge fan of Omaha Beach, Game Winner, your champ from last year as well, from the 2-year-old ranks. And he was third to them. He was a distant third, but I see him as a horse for the coach that might be putting it together at the right time.
I think the key for him would be to show some more versatility, because I don't see him being able to win this race gate to wire. But Market King, you got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, you're 50-1. And you're lightly raced, and to basically be in third behind those 2 monsters the whole way, but to hold third, right. I mean, that takes a lot of courage to hold your position when you're getting distanced by horses in front of you. So for Market King, Dwayne Lucas, he's had higher long shots in races like this, but a pretty formidable foe. He's probably a race or 2 away, from being a serious contender in a greatest stakes, but to hold third when Omaha Beach and Game Winner are dueling up front, pretty valiant effort.
Feels like a day where you might end up talking to someone throughout the grandstand and they all have a different horse in the Bluegrass. That is the feature on the card coming up tomorrow. And talking of Game Winner, he will be in competition on the West Coast in the Santa Anita Derby. We'll take a look at that race right now as well. And while this Derby prep season has been full of questions, some of them have gone unanswered, and I think that is the case with a lot of the horses at Santa Anita. And I want to start with Instagrand. He was third in the Gotham. He was undefeated at that point, 2 for 2, smashing 10-length victories, both around 1 turn, the Gotham around 1 turn. So now we finally see him around 2 turns. What are you expecting?
Well, I think he was probably sneaky good there in the Gotham. I mean, if he was so good in winning the Best Pal by 10, he matched that number when he finished third here. Supersonic pace. This much better might be a Breeders' Cup Sprint contender by the end of the year. He is really fast. So they strung out the field. He showed kind of a new quality here to show that he can, give you a good race from not having the lead. High Call comes from way downtown here to get the win, as Maddie showed us there in the Wood Memorial preview. But, probably would have liked him to secure second here to show a little bit extra class. But nevertheless, he got something out of the race. But now the question is, who gets the lead? Both Instagram and Roadster are the 2 fastest horses in the race, but neither of them had the lead in their last start. So does Mikey push from the inside? Does Instagram go back to the lead? I think that the 1 and 5 are really going to show how this race is going to develop into the first turn.
Going back to last year, and obviously Bob Baffert coming off another Triple Crown season with Justify, the question already turns to who's your next one? Who's the next star? The horse that he always named from the beginning was Roadster. You could tell that this horse kind of captured him very early on. I think at some point, maybe it is tomorrow, we'll see the sort of coming out party of Roadster.
Well, and think about it too. I mean, They said that he couldn't breathe in that race. They had to do an operation. He got beat 2 lengths to game winner. So, I mean, you're having a breathing problem. You're 2 lengths behind most people's Derby favorite right now. I mean, it shows you how much ability that he has and just has pure speed. He's got a little bit of a different running style. He runs with his head a little bit up in the air. It's almost like he's trying to get his air. But let's kind of put this all together, okay? So, Nolo Contesto beats Omaha Beach. And Omaha Beach beats game winner. And now Roadster is just burying Nolo Contesto, who probably didn't get a great setup in this race. I mean, Nolo Contesto comes up for second, but, you know, if you kind of put them all together and read the tea leaves, Roadster is the one that starts to look better and better.
He's 5-2 on the morning line. Mike Smith will be aboard from that inside post. Game winner to the outside was handed his first defeat in the Rebel back on March the 16th. He would end up second to Richard Mandela's Omaha Beach. So we have a look at that right here. He's in a tactical position, Caleb. He came from off the pace under Joel Rosario. You know, he had every chance. He just was out-gamed on the wire by a better horse on the afternoon.
A little disappointing when you think that here's a horse who hasn't lost, but Omaha Beach, super talented. He got a great break. He got an unabated trip, whereas game winner had a little bit of a rough start, had to come wide, had the first start of the year. Baffert told you he was 80%. So, you know, all in all, that was just a really good slugfest down to the wire, and you can't really fault either of those 2 horses.
It was a game race, and it was just the head bob on the wire for game winner. That nose, the only blemish on his resume thus far. Bob Baffert on the road again, him a record 8 Santa Anita Derby wins. Pretty much all races in California go through the Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, and we had a chance to catch up with him with regard to his 2 charges this weekend.
I was really proud of his effort. You know, obviously we wanted to win the race, but he was running against a really good horse, and you know, he got away a little bit awkwardly. He wasn't standing really well, and so and that's the key to all these races. To me, they have to get away. They have to be standing right to get away. Don't spot him with a few lanes, but he ran very gallant, and he came back. He wasn't tired. So he's the kind of horse that we've always felt, you know, the further the better for him, and he has that class that got him there. And he's come back here. He looks healthy. He's trained well, and you know, hopefully we'll get the same kind of race out of him, and then be ready for the big one. Well, we were extremely excited about him because we were so high on him early in the year. I mean, he was the horse, and then he broke his maiden and looked very impressive. Came back, didn't run well in the futurity, was making a noise, sent him back to Kentucky. We did a throat surgery on him, gave him plenty of time off, brought him back. I was training him this winter. He had a couple of quarter cracks in the back. I had to train around the rein. The reins were really his worst enemy. And but now we have him looking good, and that race that he ran was really impressive. I was so excited about him, and that he was back to his form, the horse that we thought, and we really think he can go. He's ready to go a mile and a half.
Roadster, the son of Quality Road, out of the Silver Ghost mare Ghost Dancing. Impressive last out, and as you say, defeated Nolo Contesto on that afternoon, who will come back in the race as well, 6-1 on the morning line. And I find this intriguing with regard to Joe Talamo, because he has been riding Mucho Gusto. He was, 3rd in the Sunland Derby, so they're sitting on the bubble. He's number 20 right now, I believe, as far as the points go coming into this weekend. But here he is, as Rosario sticks with game winner. He has an opportunity to potentially pick up another Derby horse if he were to get some points.
And I think for Nolo Contesto, tomorrow's going to be an opportunity to lay a little bit further off of the pace. You know, he's been close. The first out race when he was off the pace, they lost some iron, so that doesn't even count. So Nolo Contesto, the thing about John Sadler, he hasn't been as prominent on the Derby Trail. You know, he's had Sydney's Candy, he's had Candy Boy, but for the most part, a horse has really got to take him to the Derby Trail. So for the conditioner of the 3, this horse is probably ahead of schedule. You know, I think that maybe he might be better suited into the fall and even the summer, I guess. But nevertheless, he's got horses that are a little bit faster than him up front, but a better setup for Nolo Contesto to try to come running late.
$1 million on the line coming your way on Saturday from Santa Anita, the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby. And just with regard to those races, the Wood Memorial, the Bluegrass, and the SA Derby, money back special is available. You'll have to, of course, keep an eye if there are any scratches or changes with regard to how far down will pay out. But your first win bet up to $10 is eligible. Details at tvg.com/promos. This has been your Kentucky Derby Regional Report.